Hello, I'm Alida, your writing coach at Word Essential, and now I'm excited to tell you that I am also your instructor at Storyworks Fiction. This is my new school. So as you may have noticed, the writing tips have been on hiatus for a few months. That's because I have been working hard to develop courses to help you grow your story craft and become a better writer. The first two courses will be launching soon in December. I've got a really fun course coming up called Scary Monsters and Super Creeps, and it's all about writing monsters and monstrous characters into your fiction. And the other course is the structure of story. This is a fundamentals of story craft, and I developed this course around the questions that I get asked the most often from my coaching clients, as well as, the mistakes that I see consistently coming through in people's work. So I hope you'll be looking for those soon. You can find them at storyworksfiction.com. And I'm excited to be back with these writing tips, and I'm excited to be bringing you courses. So look for those, get on my list so you stay up to date with the latest and greatest news. And I hope to see you in the classroom really soon. Hello, welcome to this week's writing tip. I'm Alida, your writing coach at Word Essential. Today, I'm talking about tension, but not stakes. If you aren't sure what stakes and tension are all about, I have a video for that. I'll put the link below. Tension is different from stakes. Tension is what the reader feels as the stakes go up for the character. Now, the key word here is feels. Actually, there are two keywords. The other keyword is reader. You know that as the stakes, what your protagonist stands to gain or lose, go up, your character is going to experience a wide range of emotions. That range of emotions will vary depending on your story. Naturally, there may be fear, grief, love, passion, rage, terror, adoration, frustration, relief, devotion. The point being that over the course of a story, we get to put our characters through a lot, both positive and negative, and they need to feel all of that accordingly. Now, if you do it right, your reader will experience those same emotions. That's because as readers, we empathize with the point of view character, attaching our emotional wagons to hers. The reader may not wail with grief when your character does, but hopefully she feels a pang of grief along with your character. In other words, the degree of emotion the reader feels will not be the same as that depicted on the page. But we writers do want our readers to feel along with our characters, and so do they. It's the hallmark of an unforgettable story. So how do you do that? First, don't allow yourself to use the word feel or felt in your story. That is the death of reader empathy. When your character needs to feel something in response to the action of a scene, get out of your head and get into your character's body. With any character, show us what he looks like. Puckered mouth, clenched brow, fists squeezed tight. But with your point of view character, go inside. You can use thoughts, sure, but don't stop there. Think about those bodily things we can't control, like an upset stomach, sweat, the heart rate. Your character might have butterflies in his tummy, sweaty palms, and a pounding heart when he sees his crush across the gym. So remember, this applies to positive and negative feelings equally. Let's look at an example. As I read this, Notice what emotions are present on the page and how you respond to it empathetically as the reader. Mary looked out over the room. So many blank faces. Walter yawned and didn't even bother to cover his mouth. Sarah picked at something stuck to her desk. Mary wasn't even as interesting as a blob of old glue. "Take out some paper," she said, her voice quavering on the S but recovering on the solid consonant sound of the P. Why had she taken this job? She knew this wasn't her area of expertise. The district must have been desperate to offer her the position. She walked to the blackboard and took up a piece of chalk. A little nub, really. Barely enough to hold. She wrote in large block letters, as neatly as she could, A, B, C, D. Her hand trembled, and she had to write the D over again. She turned back to face the class. None of them had moved to get out paper, not even the girl with the tiny glasses strapped to her head. Weren't the kids in glasses supposed to be compliant? They hate me, she thought. Monsters, all of them. And her throat tightened the way it did when she was trying not to show emotion, not to let on that she really was a woman after all. "Miss?" A boy in the front row. She looked down at him, waiting for his query. "We don't have paper. Teacher hands it out." Mary remembered something in her brief orientation about the kindergartners. They did not have personal school supplies. Everything had to be passed out and then collected. Now, we might instead have written, Mary looked out over the classroom of young faces and thought they all hated her. She felt more nervous standing before a room full of 5-year-olds than she had during her entire dissertation defense. But if we did that, we'd be writing narrative summary instead of in scene, and we would deny the reader the fun of hitching his emotional wagon to Mary's. That's it for this week's Word Essential writing tip. Thank you so much for watching. You can find all of my writing tips at wordessential.com/blog. There's also a writing tips tab up in the navigation bar. And remember, keep an eye out for those courses. And if you really want to be up to date, join my list. Happy writing.